Hello, Internet. I want to show you today some of the capabilities of the Lightsaber library. It's a library that I started about, I don't know, 15 years ago, I think, and recently I put on GitHub. Yeah, of course, you can find the library here, totally free. So let me show you a small application and what it can do. I already have a built application. So we have a form with few checkboxes. We change some values, let's say like this. We put the form in this corner, we close it, we start it again, and it remembers the form position and the status of the checkboxes. And all this is done with very, very little code. So let's see how it's done. This is the code for the main form. Tell me if you see the difference already. And this is the code for the project, for the DPR file. And now let's try to build this application from zero. File new, visual application. So for the project, we need to get rid of this pre-existing code. We don't need it anymore. We have our own application object now. So we have a global variable up data. This already exists and it's defined in the Lightsaber library. Up data. So the global variable is here. Of course, we need to add the unit, and we need another unit. It's the ini file. Sorry, ini file. We need, of course, because we save the project GUI, the GUI settings. We save it to a ini file. Create. We need an application name. This application name will be used to save the ini file for the folder. So the folder will be located in current user and then this name. So we call it Lightsaber, I don't know, demo. We can choose any name. There are a few more parameters, but we are not interested in this. And then we say updata, create main form. And the parameters, there are also extra parameters. We need a special one. So here we have show main form on taskbar. True, yes, we have to show it in the taskbar. Then we have show, yes, want to show the form. True. And then we have, this is the important one, autosave, and it's AS full. This means that we want to save the whole graphic interface, the whole form. And yeah, that's pretty much it. No, there is one more change, but it's required not by the Lightsaber library. This is required by Delphi itself. We have to change the position to designed. So now we put some checkboxes. So we have something to play with. Okay. To remember to change the form to inherit from liked form. Of course, we need to add the unit. The unit is cv up data form. Yeah, seems to work. We delete this crap. We don't need it. We can run. We check these two checkboxes. We make the form smaller and we put it in this position. Let's see if it remembers. Close. Run again. Yeah, it worked. Let's see how this works. As we created this updata object that is replacing the T application from Delphi. Where is the application? Here. Unfortunately, we cannot inherit from this class because this object it's automatically created. We don't have any chance to create our own inherited object. So we had to replace that with our. Don't worry, in the end, our app data will call the application and will do whatever setup necessary. What is doing this? The application is doing quite a lot. So let's see. You can find the demos already on GitHub. So let's see. For the minimal example that we've seen here, it's yeah, we've seen it. It's we can automatically save the GUI state on program shutdown with checkboxes, radio boxes, everything that can, all the standard components that we want to remember their state. And then when the program starts, we automatically restore the graphic user interface, graphic user interface, and the form position on screen, form size. Other capabilities we'll see in the next video. It offers us a chance to properly initialize code. So form create is not a good idea to put your initialization code there. If you do that, probably you already know that you have problems. One reason is that one of the reasons is that the form could not be fully accessible. It's not fully constructed at this point. So if you try to draw on the canvas or something like this, and also the form will look frozen for a while if you do your initialization here. So it's better to let the form be created and then do your code, your startup code later after that point. And this is what the update offers. And this it's offered to you by this form, the light form, which has a virtual method form initialize and form release, and this is guaranteed to be called after form create. So put as little code as possible in the form create and as much as possible in form initialize. And then the form release, the same, it's called after all this close query, do close, do destroy, and session it's just before the form is destroyed and it's called only once. Be careful because the other methods could be called more than once or may not be called at all. But form release is guaranteed to be called at the proper moment and only once. So other capabilities, we can create a desktop shortcut for our application with just one command, and we have the shortcut on our desktop. We can associate our application with a file type, with an extension. So when the user double clicks that file in Explorer, our application will start and load that file, the file that the user just double clicked. It has some beta tester capabilities, so you can put the application in beta tester mode, and then more buttons, for example, if you want, they could be available for the beta tester to test, but not to the regular users. Some nice capabilities to show strings in the program's caption, but while still showing the program name and version all the time. I think we have seen that here, yes. Lightsaber demo, and this is because we don't have a version number, but if we introduce a version number, version 1, okay, save, run, then the version number will appear here. And then if we add our own text, it will appear after program name and version number. What other capabilities? We'll see in the third demo. We have the possibility to translate the graphic user interface to multiple languages, and this is very easy, and we need a single line of code for this. The program can check the internet, can check our own website for news and display the news if there are news for this program. Can also check for updates if there are new versions of this program. With also a single line of code, we give the user the chance to select a skin dynamically, automatically logging. So when you have problems, you can directly send them to a log. and the log can automatically pop up when you send warnings and errors. We have in the demo we will have also a settings form to load user settings, like for example to minimize the program to the system tray area. There is also with external library, Proteus library, the possibility to convert the program to a trial and or shareware version. And we also need a single line of code for this. We have the possibility for single instance, again, without any code, I think. Yeah, without any line of code. It's already in the Lightsaber library. This means that the user can start the program only once. And yeah, possibility to add your own branding into the program. And now let's see quickly how the visual components of the form are automatically saved to disk. This class already implements the necessary code. So we have this code here. When the form starts, it calls the load form and reads from the ini the state of the components. And of course, this is saved there to the ini file when the form shuts down. We use a similar function called save form. See you in the next video, and don't forget to click the don't like button if you don't like the video and click the subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.